So I am now a GankPods clone, it seems. So today we're going to be looking at some pretty weird headphones that I've had for a while and I've wanted to take a look at on this channel for a while because these are seriously bizarre. Indeed, today we're looking at wireless headphones with FM radio receiver. Now these are not wireless in the way that you would expect at all, but technically they are wireless. Now I paid £5 for these, and this was from a charity shop, so anything from a charity shop is absolutely fine. I'm always happy to donate for charity, even for bizarre stuff like this. Now these headphones have the mark of the beast, super bass. Now I don't even like really bassy headphones, so anything that advertises itself as super bass while also looking this cheap, not a good sign. Now apparently this thing is suitable for MP3 player, TV set, computer, DVD, VCD player and other electronic products with an audio output. Kinda seems to be stating the obvious a little bit. And there we have the headphones on this stand. And I've got to say they look more bizarre in person than they do in the photo. 3-in-1. Wireless headphone, wired headphone, FM radio receiver. Indeed, this thing does all three of these things, technically. It's only wireless headphone when it's using the FM radio receiver. If you want to listen to music through your MP3 player or whatever, you need to use some wires. As you can see, we've got a list of tech specs on the side, which is actually really impressive for what was probably some quite cheap headphones. Always cool to know this stuff. And on the back, you've got them selling it to us more. And on the side, you've got some selling points. Imported chip and core technology, super strong signal, radio. Patented design, novel and fashionable. I feel bad for whoever had to patent this. Also, this is neither novel nor fashionable, it's a pair of headphones. So with that said, let's go ahead and open these up. As you can see, my tripod is wobbling because I had very limited space to record this, and this is actually quite a big box. And I'm trying to open it from the wrong end. Probably not going to work. And here we have the beast itself. So we have the stand that was used in the image here. Now all of the audio people are going to be screaming at me here, but I actually don't know what this is for. Next we have the headphones themselves. Looks alright. And we also have a cable that you're going to need if you want to use these headphones with anything but the FM radio. Now let's throw all this out of the way and take a look at the headphones themselves. Now as you can see, these look pretty much like any generic pair of headphones from the early 2000s, with one key difference. Now they don't look too bad at all, I've got to say that. They're fairly lightweight, which is what you want out of a pair of headphones, and there's a little bit of swivel to the cups, which is nice, although they don't go left and right, which is kind of annoying. The ear pads are kind of cheap, but they feel comfortable enough. And you have battery compartment, we'll get onto that later. Now this is really difficult to get back on, but eventually you can do it. And on the other end, you've got a scan and a reset button for the radio. And here is the main event. But before we take a look at that, you've got a volume wheel down here, and you have a replaceable headphone jack. Very useful. And here's the main event. You have an antenna on the side of these headphones. Now, this antenna actually gets very long. So imagine you're walking around with these headphones with this giant antenna sticking out of them. Not exactly a fashion statement. Now let's go ahead and turn them on and see what we get. And you can turn them on by turning the volume wheel. And you might be able to hear that. We were getting some radio static through the headphones. Now presumably if we hit the scan button we can find a station. Now this is probably where I get sued, but as you can hear, they do indeed work fine.
Have had great success in building their numbers of participants has been.
And if we extend the antenna, the radio signal actually does get better.
To say, he joins us now. Firstly, Andy, thank you.
So I've got to say, for listening to the radio, if you can get past the fact that they look a little bit ridiculous, they actually work pretty well. The sound quality is more than good enough for a radio. After all, FM radio isn't for audiophiles anyway, and this thing is pretty much at the limit of what FM radio can handle. But we're not interested in FM radio, so I'm going to disappear for a second and come back and let you know how these sound when we're trying them out in a hi-fi situation. Well, I gave these things a listen and oh wow, are they the very definition of muddy. These things really are just entirely low end. All of the top end is just gone. The mids are completely destroyed. When these things said super bass, they were not lying at all. Now, to be honest, I have spent a £5 on headphones that sound much better than this. While I understand that they're quite old, audio technology works a little bit different from the rest of technology. When something sounds good, it pretty much always sounds good. So if you happen to find a pair of these, well, I can't really recommend them unless you really want the radio feature, because to be honest, the radio feature actually sounds okay for a radio, and these things are reasonably comfortable. They felt a little bit uncomfortable on at first, but once I wore them for a little bit, they felt alright actually. I think the main problem really is just the sound quality, but maybe I'm just a snob in that regard. But with that said, that's my look at these bizarre headphones. I've got to say, even if they don't sound great, they are pretty cool, and I'm glad that I picked them up. So thanks for watching this DankPods rip-off video, and I will see you in the next one.